In this video, we will be looking detailedly into the brush tool settings. Brush tool basically is an option which is inbuilt in Photoshop, Illustrator, or be it CorelDRAW or any drawing softwares for that matter, which basically performs the function of your pen tool. Just like how a pen and paper is for artists, that's how a brush tool is important for digital artists. Brush tool is used to create digital art, illustration, and be it adding a color in your document, or not only documents and illustration for that matter, but even in photos it is used for photo manipulation, that is to increase or decrease the colors in particular field of your photos. So it is overall used everywhere in Photoshop as well as Illustrator. Now you can find this brush tool in your toolbar in your left side, and what you're looking right now in the screen is a blank artboard loaded by me, in which we are going to look into several options and menus for brush tools. Let's start into it. Just come over here to the toolbar to your left side, and below, just come below, and you will find a healing brush tool. Just below that, you will find an option which says brush tool, and it is already in the icon of a brush tool. Just click on it, and you will find the first option which says brush tool over here. Now, as soon as I have clicked the brush tool menu, your cursor should look like how my cursor is looking right now. And it is clear that the px or the brush size is too high right now, and that's why you are seeing a larger circle. And we will just cut down this size, and we will see into various options that we have in a brush tool. Come over here to the top menu, and you get to see some number of options over here. In that, just click on this. So this is nothing but a preset option of Photoshop which allows you to increase or decrease the size, hardness, and the stroke of the brush. The first one over here that you're seeing in the menu is the size. So we call it as either size or the master diameter. So this has several names, because earlier versions of Photoshop, this was actually called as master diameter, but after 2018, I think they changed the name as size. So what you're looking right now, size, is the size of the brush, that is the brush tip. Right now it is in 306px. For example, I will reduce it to 34. That is apt for me. Now you can see that as I'm drawing in the artboard, it is in 34px now. That is, the size is in 34, the brush size is 34 right now. And to draw this, it is very simple, guys. You just have to come over to the artboard, left click on your mouse, and just drag until you need to stop. Once you need to stop, just release the mouse button, and that's it. So this is just like drawing in your paper, whereas here you are doing it virtually in the software. That's the only difference. So now we have set the size. I will just undo this. We have set the size. Come over to the preset menu again, and below you find an option which says hardness. Now hardness is nothing but it is you get to decide how much should be the thickness or the hardness of the border of your brush. So a less hardness gives you a more opaque border to your brush. I'll just show you now. It is in 100, and you can see the difference. And now I'm reducing it to, let's say, a value of 10. Sorry, 11. Okay, 11 is fine. And you can see the difference, right? The upper one over here, which has 100% hardness, has a sharp and a crisp border, wherein the bottom over here, which just has 11% of hardness, as I said, you doesn't have a crisp border. That is, which means it doesn't have a firm border. So hardness basically decides how much of your border should be thick or how much crispness it should have. So that is what a hardness features does. So the next one you see over here is the tip of your brush. That is, you get to decide which stroke of brush you should have. So Photoshop already has some presets of strokes in its library, and however, if you wish to download some extra strokes for your library, you can do that. There are some several links which I will pin in the description box below. As I'm scrolling down, you can see that we have some several strokes of brushes in Photoshop. There is the top one which you saw was general brushes. The bottom which we are scrolling now are dry brushes, and you can see the difference. So there are some again wet brushes and special effect brushes. Let's start from selecting the hard round brush over here. Let's move on to this different stroke and let's see how it reacts. So you can find the difference here, and I will keep on changing the brush types and we will see the differences in each and every stroke of brush. And this is a dry brush, and again you can see the difference. This is more like a sketch pencil effect. And the next one we have is Kyle Bonus Chunky Charcoal Pencil, and this is great for creating a charcoal or a oil paint kind of effect. Whenever you are creating a digital illustration or an art for any kind of oil paint effect, this brush is actually best that Photoshop library has. And apart from that, you can download brushes as I said you in the beginning. That's all about this presets menu. You get to decide the size, hardness, and the brush stroke. So for each and every concept, as I keep on telling you, it all depends upon your trial and error as well as your particular design and your particular choice. So that's all it is. It's left up to your choice. The next one over here is the mode. Keep doing it in the layers palette. We have the same kind of mode selection even in a brush tool. Just click on it and you will find the same set of options: normal, dissolve, behind, clear, darken, multiply. So each and every option gives you each and every several effect. Again, this is the same thing because it all depends upon your particular design and your particular choice and your particular perspective. So again, the same thing. The first one over here is normal. So the second one over here is dissolve. So I will draw with each and every setting, and it is easier instead of me just explaining it. So I will just draw each and every stroke with each and every effect, and it will be more easier. So this is the dissolve effect, and behind what it does is, but you won't be able to see this now because that's what behind does. Behind us, it draws behind your layer. So this is useful when you have 2 to 3 layers and you can just switch your layers and you can see that. So that is a feature. Next is clear. Clear just makes a transparent selection, which is never a good idea. So this is again, as I said you, this is more easier for when you have 2 to 3 layers to select. So darken gives you a kind of dark effect, that is more of opaque effect. So that's what darken does. And you will find several other options over here, that is multiply, color burn, darker color, and then moving on over here, lighten, screen, dodge. So the first one over here is normal settings. This column over here lightens your brush. This column over here focuses more on darkening your brush stroke. This column over here focuses on lightening your brush stroke, and this is for like overlay or soft light, hard light. These are more focused on giving a vivid effect to your brush. So as and then we change some other brush strokes, you will find more of a difference. For example, see here, this is in general brush. I would like to change it to hard round, and you can see the difference now. It is just giving a strong, clear, crisp edge, along with even the interior of the inner side of the brush is just like too vivid or too highlighted and focused. So that's what hard light and vivid effects does. Same goes with the vivid light. Not much of a difference between hard light and vivid light, but the motto here is same compared to other settings. It just highlights your brush. And moving on to the next one, to the bottom, we have again pin light, hard mix, and these set of columns like difference, exclusion, subtract, and divide. These are just focused on giving you different effects. That is, difference over here again draws behind the layer, exclusion, subtract and divide, all same for that matter. Now, the last column over here, that is the 4, hue, saturation, color and luminosity, it just adds a hue effect, that is a saturated color effect to your brush. That's all in this menu. Moving on to the next one over here, you will find an option which says opacity. Now, opacity, as we have looked this feature into many areas, that is layer palette or be it the healing brush tool, everywhere we have just looked into this feature, same thing goes here too. Opacity is again the transparency of your brush in here. That is, you get to decide how much of transparent your brush should be. Now it is in 100% and I am reducing it to 34, and let's see. You can find the difference. The one which is over here, which was 100%, and the bottom one over here, which looks like a light gray color, which is in 34%, makes a lot of difference. So you get to decide how much opaque your brush should be. It's in 54% now, and it's in a bit dark gray. It's in 71% now. You can again see that. So let's keep it back to 100, and there we are. So this makes a huge difference, isn't it? Like a less opaque image, like a less transparent one over here, a bit of more transparent, a bit again more, and it is 100% transparent. So this just kind of makes a difference. Now, this option over here is more suitable for those who are using a pen tablet. So this option over here is nothing but it is the pen pressure. Pen pressure is when, for example, you are using a pen tablet for drawing anything in Illustrator or Photoshop, and you will be using a pen at that time. In the tablet, you will be drawing with a touch pen or stylus pen. So this option automatically helps you to draw along with the pressure that you are using in your tablet. That is, it just adapts itself to the pressure that you are using in your pen, in your tablet. Here you mandatorily don't have to focus on the opacity. That is, it is more like a auto opacity features, guys. So here you don't need to have to like worry much about the opacity when you have this option on, because this option over here is just more or less like a auto opacity, is more or less like a auto opacity option. So this works on a pen tablet, and I would suggest you to use a pen tablet if you are trying to use one, because mouse is kind of like very difficult when it comes to brush tool. So now it is an auto opacity and you can find the difference. Now in my pen tablet, I will just give a light pressure and you can see the difference, right? The opacity is somewhere around 30 to 40% now, and I will apply a bit more of pressure now, and you can see that it is somewhere around 70 to 80, and I will apply full pressure, and there we go. You can see the difference, and again just a mild pressure, now very mild, and it makes a difference, isn't it? Like the opacity here is automatically changing depending upon the pressure that we are giving into it. So however, this can't be done using a mouse, so that is why I keep on telling you, like using a pen tablet is much better, because it is easier to, when you're doing a whole lot of digital art or illustration, you can't rely on a mouse every time. It will be too much of burden or work for you. So that's why. So moving on to the next one over here, the option says flow. Now flow is the option which allows you to decide how much of the ink to be flown into your brush. That is, for example, now it is in 100 and you can see the difference over here. However, I will set it in somewhere around 30 and you can see the difference now. See, it is more or less like an opacity feature again, but it just allows you to decide your flow of ink. So for this, again, we have the same kind of option over here, which again automatically allows you to do it based on your pen pressure. That's one thing. Coming to the next one over here is smoothing. So smoothing is more or less kind of same feature, more or less like same feature as how a hardness over here is. So right now is in 100%, and as and then you keep on reducing it, you will see the image becomes more and more and more crisper. So that's how this feature works. And the next one over here is smoothing options again. Here you will find four main options. The first one over here is pull string mode. I will just deselect everything and let's go one by one. Pulled string mode allows you to draw more easily and conveniently by giving you a kind of a 3D graph, that is a circle mode. So which will be easier for you to keep a track of your line. I'll just show you. You will click on this, and as I keep dragging, you will see a circular path which is following us. So this gives you a clear picture to draw more easier paths, like how I'm doing now. See, so this is what a pull string mode does. It just gives you a path, making you easier whenever you're going to make a circle or something. Next one is stroke catch-up over here. Stroke catch-up was what we were using from the beginning. It just makes a track point of your end path of the brush, and it makes you more easier. And then catch up on stroke point, that is these two are more or less same kind of features. It doesn't make much of a difference. And the last one over here is adjust for zoom. So apart from this first one, these three might look like similar ones, but not much of a difference. So that was all about the top menu of this brush column. You can just come over here and you can just perform a trial and error basis until you find the brush stroke and the opacity, everything suitable for your design. And as I said you, this brush menu can be used everywhere, be it a design or be it a digital art or illustration, or be it preparing a brochure, menu card, logo. So it is just used to color as well as draw structures. And this was all about the basics of Photoshop, guys. Starting from the last 5 videos, we have covered everything about the basics of Photoshop, starting from the introduction to use of marquee tools to layers palette, how to add layers, how to merge layers, how to group them, and how to use healing tool, how to make selection, quick selection, and how to use the pen tool and erasing it, and everything. We just covered everything. And if you are again new to this video, you can just find out our previous videos from our graphic design playlist, and starting from video 5 you will find everything about introduction of Photoshop. We have covered everything about the basics of Photoshop. Starting from our next video, we will be working on different brochures, logos. We will be working on different kind of designs. We will be creating designs in each and every video, and we will be exploring more and more options as we grow in.